And I'm gonna get a lot of too, but honestly, there could be the way where you put Crawford over.
You know, he coming behind his jab, he throwing straight punches, he going to the body, going in up and down. He just got to tighten up a little bit on his defense, but other than that, man, he good.
In a sport filled with endless debates, the pound-for-pound number one spot is always a hot topic. But while fans and analysts continue to argue, one of boxing's most dangerous men has just made his stance clear. David, the Mexican monster Benavidez, has finally spoken out about Terence "Bud" Crawford, and surprisingly, it's not a call-out. When Crawford dismantled Canelo Alvarez, it wasn't just another win. It was a seismic shift in boxing. The seemingly untouchable king of the 168-pound division was completely outclassed by a smaller man who moved up 2 weight classes and dominated every round.
Is he on the Mount Rushmore of boxers?
Yeah. Yes. Fuck yeah.
Yeah?
3-time undisputed. Mm-hmm. He just beat Canelo.
Yeah.
The face of boxing. So now you can say Bud is the face of boxing.
Greatest of all time, or?
Greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it can never be one great, but he definitely one of the greatest of all time, for sure.
As an undefeated multi-time world champion, David Benavidez knows exactly what it takes to rule at the top of the sport. But what he said about Terence Crawford went far beyond simple respect. It was a crowning moment in a sport driven by ego, rivalries, and constant call-outs. Benavidez, a man who truly believes he's the best in the world, did something almost unheard of. Instead of challenging Crawford, he praised him. He called Crawford one of the all-time greats, placing him on boxing's Mount Rushmore, a fighter who didn't just win titles, but carved out a piece of history that very few ever get the chance to claim.
Terence Crawford, because, he beat, he did something that I didn't think he was going to do. He went and he beat Canelo. That's 3 weight classes going up. And he made it look pretty easy. So you have to give it to Crawford.
And when that kind of respect comes from one of your most dangerous rivals, it carries real weight, the kind of praise that makes everyone stop and listen. Benavidez saw exactly what Crawford accomplished, moving up in weight, taking every belt, and dominating a bigger, stronger opponent. And he saluted him for it. But what he said next truly revealed why Crawford is such a rare breed. When asked what impressed him the most, Benavidez didn't talk about Crawford's speed, slick footwork, or his ability to switch stances. Instead, he focused on something you can't teach, heart. He said what amazed him most was watching Crawford, already comfortably ahead on the scorecards, choose to stand toe-to-toe and trade punches with a heavier hitter like Canelo in the late rounds. That, Benavidez said, is what sets Crawford apart from everyone else.
What impressed me the most was Crawford's ability to stay focused in the fight, and not only just to stay focused and box, but he also got rugged in there. He started brawling with him towards the late rounds. That's something I appreciate in a fighter. He was already up. He could have chose to just box, but he went in there and tried to brawl with him in the last round. So that's really what impressed me. His heart more than anything impressed me.
Crawford wasn't satisfied with just winning. He wanted to dominate. He's got that fire in him, that relentless killer instinct that won't let him play it safe or coast to an easy victory. Every time he steps into the ring, he's there to make a statement, to leave no doubt about who the better fighter is.
It's a good fight. It's a good fight for both of them. Good fight for, I think it's more important for Crawford than anybody, but I think if anybody could beat Canelo, I think Crawford could.
Yeah, I know you said, he could be the guy. What kind of a chance do you ultimately give him?
I think you give him a 7 out of a 10.
Oh, wow, that high. I thought you were going to say 25.
Crawford is good. Crawford is good. And
of course.
I think he's been known that he's going to fight Canelo for a long, long time. And, Crawford, he likes to pick up the weight. So I'm sure he's been working on the weights for a long, long time. So, Crawford, when he has, with a person that has a big IQ like that, if you do enough weights, and you stay working for a long time, you have a puncher's chance.
That, in Benavidez's eyes, is the secret weapon.
In Benavidez's eyes, that's Crawford's secret weapon. The reason he may never lose. He's got world-class skill, but it's his ruthless mentality that makes him different. And that, Benavidez says, is exactly what Canelo Alvarez has lost.
And I'm gonna get a lot of too, but honestly, there could be the way where you put Crawford over Mayweather. Because of going up, you didn't see Mayweather go up from 147 to 168. That's crazy, bro. And honestly, I thought Crawford was gonna have more of a hard time because he had a hard time with Madronov. So imagine going up to it. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, but I don't want to take nothing away from Mayweather. Mayweather is the greatest of all time. But I think that was a really big risk that Crawford took, and then he ended up winning. You know what I mean? So you have to give credit to that too. I mean, that's a big risk. That'd be like me going up and fighting Usyk right now, heavyweight.
I know that's been kind of hinted.
I'm not thinking of that right now. I'm not thinking of that right now. No, but that's kind of like how that'd be. You know what I mean? So you have to, bro. That's a lot of. He has a lot of balls to do that. And not only to go do that to show the world that he's really like that.
Benavidez's praise for Crawford came with a sharp edge, because right after lifting him up, he used it to take aim at Canelo Alvarez. After calling Crawford an all-time great, Benavidez turned his focus to the man he's been chasing for years and didn't hold back. He revealed what he believes was Canelo's biggest downfall, not a loss of skill or power, but his massive ego. According to Benavidez, this wasn't just a defeat, it was a hard lesson. He accused Canelo of disrespecting both his opponent and the sport itself, saying the champ didn't take the fight seriously. Benavidez pointed out that Canelo was barely throwing 10 punches around, just walking forward like his reputation alone would win the fight. In his words, Canelo's ego had him thinking, I'll just walk through Crawford, land one good shot and that'll be it.
I'm not happy that he lost. I kind of feel like that could have been me. That was my moment. You know what I mean? If I would have gone in there, I know I would have beat him. You know what I mean? So I don't want to be a hater, but that's kind of how I feel. But you know what I mean? I give all the flowers to Crawford. You know what I mean?
That should have been me in there. That should have been my.
If I would have got that fight, I would have been me. I would have been the one getting my hand raised. But like I said, it didn't happen, and that's why it didn't happen, because Canelo knows that would have happened.
Benavidez made it clear, arrogance in boxing is a death sentence. He warned that the moment you think you're untouchable, it'll come back to bite you. Canelo's ego, the same thing that made him great, is what ultimately brought him down.
I think Crawford took it way more serious than Canelo, which is kind of weird because, you know, the amount of money that Canelo was making. And I know all these people say, oh, yeah, you know, talking shit about Canelo. I'm not talking shit about him. He just didn't look like he really prepared 100%. He's throwing 10 punches around. Or I think his ego is that big that he thought that, oh, I'm just going to walk through him, catch him with a good shot, and it's going to be done. As you can see, Crawford is a different type of fighter. Not only has he had the boxing IQ, he has that dog in him. He was in there. He was brawling with Canelo like in the 8th, 9th, getting the best out of him. Boxing, he's epitome of a great boxer. There's a lot of lessons to be learned in that fight. You know what I mean? If you really want to make something come true and you really believe it, you can make it come true. And then the other lesson is, don't let your ego get the best out of you, and don't think that you don't have to prepare because you're a bigger fighter. You know what I mean? That shit will bite you in the ass.
With Canelo dethroned, the boxing world immediately turned its attention to the next dream matchup, the ultimate finisher, Terence Crawford, versus the most feared pressure fighter in the game, David Benavidez. It felt like the natural next step, the new king versus the uncrowned one, a true battle for the heart of the 168-pound division. The hype took off instantly. Everyone wanted this fight. But when Benavidez was finally asked about it, his response shocked everyone. He didn't just turn it down, he shut it down completely. Benavidez revealed he has zero interest in fighting Terence Crawford. His reason? He's done with 168. He said he's moving up for good. And if he wouldn't drop back down even for a massive payday against Canelo, there's no chance he'd do it for Crawford.
Could you still make 168? Is that a possibility?
Honestly, bro, my plan is after this fight, I want to go down to 154. Nah, bro. I'm done with cruiserweight. You know, I want to take this opportunity, though. Yes, I say cruiserweight. I want to take this opportunity to, you know, congratulate Crawford. You know, he put a hell of a performance. He's up there in the Mount Rushmore of the greatest fighters of all time. And, you know, let Crawford do his thing, bro. You know, at the end of the day, I have no interest in fighting Crawford. I have no interest in going down to 168. I mean, yeah, it's nice that it would be dope winning all titles, but I'm way past that at 168. You know, the only reason I wouldn't even go down to 168 for Canelo, and I'm just being real with you, you know. And let Crawford do his thing. Let him have his, let him. I want to give his flowers, man, because he's a great fighter, man. When there's no other fighter that's coming up from 147 to beat a type of fighter like Canelo at 168, you know, when Crawford, you know, he's one of the greatest of all time. So, you know, I have no interest in going down to 168. I'm not saying that I'm scared of Crawford or whatever, you know, but Crawford's a man at 168. That's his weight class. I'm done with 168.
In a calm but dismissive statement, Benavidez shut down what could have been the biggest fight in boxing. He simply said, asterisk, let Terence Crawford live. That's his weight class. Asterisk with that, he walked away from the division, from the fans, and from a matchup everyone was hoping for, leaving Crawford standing alone as the undisputed king.
Canelo fight look with Benavidez. Who you favor?
I still got it at 50-50. Benavidez good, but Canelo is, you know what I mean, great. We just gotta see the fight, man. We all want to see the fight.
Do you think he gets him to the body? Because Booba was landing a lot of body shots.
I don't know. That's why I said we gotta watch the fight. You know what I mean? It's a different style, different type of fighter. You got two strong fighters going head to head.
Is Canelo the only 68 you fight, or would you consider a Benavidez?
Yeah, Canelo the only one.
So why walk away now from the biggest names, the biggest paydays, and the biggest spotlight? The truth runs deeper than most fans realize. David Benavidez has a complicated, even haunted, history at 168 pounds. He's the only two-time world champion to lose his titles twice without ever being beaten in the ring. The first time, he was stripped after testing positive for cocaine. The second, he lost the belt again, not to a punch, but to the scale, failing to make weight. That division has been both his kingdom and his curse. The brutal weight cut drained him physically and mentally, costing him everything twice. So now, the Mexican monster is done looking back. He's on a new hunt, chasing bigger prey at 175 pounds and beyond. He's targeting the light heavyweight killers, Artur Beterbiev, Dmitry Bivol, and even has his eyes on Zurdo Ramirez. Benavidez isn't running from anyone. He's running toward greatness in a new arena.
Looking for the opportunity to fight. We've been in talks of fighting Zurdo Ramirez for his belts at cruiserweight. So we're already in talks of that, you know, and then that's definitely a fight that has to happen because I used to spar him when I was 18 years old. All the way, you know, I sparred him a lot, so I know that's a pay-per-view fight. It was a pay-per-view sparring session, so the fight is going to be, you know, way better. But yeah, definitely, that's in my sights. You know, I definitely want to go up to cruiserweight. You know, I want to be a reigning defending champion at light heavyweight, and then make my way up to cruiserweight. But
he's leaving the 168 pounds throne to Crawford, a man he respects but won't fight. For Benavidez, it's not surrender, it's evolution.
I put 5. That's right.
Wow. That's cheating.
I love it.
That is cheating.
That's a heel turn. You the boss.
That
I love
is heel.
it. That's a heel turn.
I love it. You got 5.
Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. Roy at his peak. Just remember this: if Roy would have retired after the Ruiz fight, he would have replaced Sugar Ray Robinson as the greatest fighter of all time. I agree. Right? But he didn't, and the rest of that stuff is in there, right? So I get it. But Roy at his peak, I think, had a higher peak than anyone on this list. I agree. Okay, Manny Pacquiao, we've all said it a million times. I think he is, outside of Sugar Ray Robinson, I have Manny Pacquiao's second greatest pound-for-pound fighter ever. Floyd Mayweather never lost. And did he cherry-pick when and where? Yes. But guys, from 130, 135, he cleaned out 135. He beat the best guy at 130, beat the best guy at 135. Yes, did he pick and choose at 140, 47, and 54? Yeah, but he won all those fights. That's right. And he beat a lot of good fighters. And more than that, put Floyd at his best in with anyone through history. You do not know who wins.
It leaves boxing fans with one burning question. Did Canelo's ego not only cost him his crown, but also rob us of the true super fight? Or is Benavidez avoiding the very man he just called an all-time great? That's all for today. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss what's next.